here in the basement of Icon. And who do we have here? What is your name?
It's me, the goddess of queens, Olympia.
What are your pronouns in and out of drag?
In drag, of course, she, her, hers, always full fantasy, baby. Outside of drag, he, him, his, but honestly, I don't really care.
How'd you get your drag name?
I am born and raised in Astoria, Queens, which has a very heavy Greek influence. I always love Greek mythology. And funny story, one time I heard RuPaul say the word Olympian, and it sounded like Olympia, and I was like, she's gonna say my name when I'm on that show.
Period. What's your current age and how long have you been doing drag?
I am 34 years old, and I have been doing drag for 4 years.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Astoria, in Queens, in New York City.
What are your astrological signs?
I am a Aries sun, a Sag moon, and a Scorpio rising.
I didn't know you were an Aries too.
Yes, I am. Fire signs, baby.
Started drag on the same day, same sign. We'll get more into that later. Who has inspired you most in your drag career?
Oh my god, there's so many talented queens in New York City that like got me to start doing drag. Brenda Darling, Candy Muse, Prodigy Major, Honey Davenport, like seeing those people on a weekly basis and getting to chat with them and really be a fan of drag beforehand, that's why I do drag.
What's been your favorite city or borough to perform in?
I mean, obviously Manhattan is really exciting. There's so many different people, but getting to perform here in my home city at a bar, like literally 5 blocks from my house, has been really exciting.
What's your current obsession?
I am currently obsessed with sushi. I have probably had sushi like the past 3 nights in a row. A good like spicy salmon roll with crunch and a spicy miso soup.
Not for me. Not for me. My boyfriend loves sushi and like requests to get it all the time, and I'm like, I can't do the raw fish. I can't do the raw fish. But props to you, mama. What does Pride Month mean to you?
Oh wow. I know, I had to take a drink for that one. Pride Month encompasses so much. Pride Month really symbolizes gay excellence for me. Like, you know, that TikTok right now of like, I had the gay audacity to think I could do something. I live my day-to-day life like that. So I really love to be out and proud and be there for other people to help them come into our circle and be out and proud.
That's lovely. You're so sweet.
Oh, I try.
So we both started drag, doing Drag Wars at Pieces Bar.
We did.
Same exact day in 2019.
We did.
How would you describe your drag that day?
Honestly, compared to what I do now, it was busted, but she was never busted, girl. She was always really pretty, but honestly, it was optimistic, it was energetic, and it was fun. And that was like the time I wasn't doing it to make money and pay rent. I just got up there because I wanted to be a performer, and I saw so many girls doing it, so it was just so much fun.
How would you describe my drag that day?
It was funny.
Funny?
You've always been a comedy girl. I think that, again, we just both had that like bright-eyed bushy tail. I remember meeting you in the dressing room and we were like,
let's do it. We're gonna fucking make it.
Is it your first time? It's my first. We were like literally kindergartners at the sandbox. Like, will you be my friend?
Yeah,
That's how it was.
It was very much like, we're doing this together. We're both gonna make it. We're gonna do great. It was like very that. I feel like I've carried that. I've always felt like a bond with you. Like seeing you from afar. I'm like, yes, we're doing what we said we were gonna do.
Same. Honestly, you've always been like serving drag from the beginning. Like at the beginning, I was trying to be a woman.
Right.
You were serving drag from the start.
So where do you get your news?
I am a millennial. I still get my news from news channels. I mean, I look
that's
it
where you
up,
should get that. I don't know.
That's where I get my news from.
Most people see a Facebook article, they're like, that's the truth.
No, girl.
What are some red flags for you when it comes to dating?
Okay, so this may get me canceled because all of my friends hate this, but like a red flag for me is like I can't do codependency. So if you're the type of person who needs like a good morning and a good night text every single day, don't date me. I'm not the right person for you, and I tell people that, and it probably cuts off a lot of my chances. But I gotta be honest from the beginning.
It's good to be honest, yeah. Do you believe in aliens?
I believe that it is stupid to think that we're the only living things on this planet in this huge, huge universe. So I don't know that I believe in small green or gray men, but we can't be the only living things. That's impossible.
If you were a cartoon character, who would you be?
I would be probably Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls because I'm ambitious, I'm a natural born leader, and I like to play that role, and I also love my siblings.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to quit their job?
Why do you want to quit your job? You better have another job before you quit your job. Okay?
Do you have a job outside of drag?
I sure do. I have multiple jobs outside of drag.
And you're also a dance teacher, right?
Yeah, I work full-time managing retail stores in Manhattan. I do gigs 3 to 4 nights a week, and I also teach dance here in Astoria 2 nights a week. So I am always going.
What classes do you teach for dance classes?
I teach tap, jazz, and lyrical. Listen, I could be Alyssa Edwards, only I have a chin.
You can change a pillowcase.
I sure can.
Would you ever be down to do a tap duet with me?
I have been dying to do a tap duet with you. We have to find the perfect time to do it, but I would love to.
What do you love most about your gig here at Icon?
I love that it's in my neighborhood that I grew up in, and I love that you see the same people at the gigs every week. It's like you do a gig in the city and you may or may not see people again, but like I may have a small but mighty night on Sundays, but I always see the same people. We're building a really cool family here.
What is the most expensive thing that you own?
The most expensive thing I own is probably my evening gown that I had made for Miss Fire Island. Yeah.
You also you sell like human hair units for people still, right?
I sure do, yes. I like, one of the biggest things that I love about my drag transformation is my hair. As I promote my own hair brand, I'm not wearing my own hair. I'm wearing hair by a very talented queen named Vidania here in the city. But I do make and style and dye my own custom human hair units. So if you want one, find me Mythology by Olympia.
If you could have any natural hair color, what would you pick?
My natural hair color is like a very dark brown. Like you might as well think it's black. So I would love like a chocolatey warm brown.
Warm brown color?
Mm-hmm. Probably a lot like this without the highlights.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever judge a book by its cover?
I try not to, but of course, I'm human.
What is something people usually are shocked to find out about you?
That I'm a top.
What's it like being so beautiful?
It's actually really easy to get up in the morning. The only struggle I have is like when I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror, I have to fight that urge to say, these other bitches could never.
They could never. And they should know that. They should know that, honestly. If you could tell yourself one thing on the first night of you doing drag, what would you say?
I would say not to take it so seriously. When I first started drag, like most people, you think it's the be all end all, and like you want to be perfect performing for other people, especially if you have a performance background. Like, yes, I love to be beautiful and glamorous, but the best moments come out of my performances when they're unplanned, they're generic, and I'm just having fun with the audience.
I know you just said you did Miss Fire Island last year. Are you expecting a return?
Oh, yes, baby. I want that crown. I want that Miss Fire Island crown. Listen, I don't think it's going to change my career by any means, but I do really want that Miss Fire Island crown because I came into my own skin spending summers on Fire Island, so it means something special to me, so look out for me.
And how are you going to top that evening gown?
I'm just going to have a more expensive one made, of course.
More stones?
More stones, more money.
In a different color.
I'm just going to throw money at it. Isn't that how you solve all your problems?
Just tape a bunch of $100 bills onto it.
Literally.
Instead of ostrich feathers, it's just $100 bills. Same thing, honestly.
Green ostrich and $100 bills. I love that.
What's one venue you want to perform in that you haven't gotten to yet?
Well, as far as like all the drag bars in the surrounding area, thankfully in the past 4 years I've gotten to perform at every one I want. I'm thinking now bigger stages like Radio City would be nice.
Work.
Yes.
What's next? Who is your number one supporter?
Oh my god, I have so many supporters.
So many fans. Can't keep track.
That did sound like funnily vapid, but it wasn't meant to. Like, I'm lucky enough to have such a large biological and chosen family. But I don't know, it's gotta be a toss up. There's two really good friends of mine who come to almost every show and they are a big part of my drag. Justice Balenciaga, who helps me make a lot of my looks, and we're just very good friends outside of drag. He's in the ballroom scene and he has such a great eye and always pushes my look. And then my good friend Ivan, who has been there since day one. That day that we competed at Drag Wars together, he was there. He took the first video and he's literally at almost every show I have. So the two of them are like probably always in my right and left corner.
I love that. You need people like that, yeah. Especially in this industry, you know.
100%.
Who's your favorite actress?
favorite actress? I'll have to go with an oldie but a goodie. Someone who like changed the way that I thought about women. Probably Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Sarah Michelle Gellar because like a lot of my favorite movies are like here, there, and everywhere, and I have a ton of different favorite TV shows. But like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like at a formative part of my life, and we're in such a nostalgic resurgence right now. Sarah Michelle Gellar comes to mind, top of mind.
So you mentioned earlier you're juggling a ton of jobs. What advice do you have for someone who's doing the same thing and trying to make it in nightlife?
I would say that you need to fight for work-life balance. And that doesn't mean that each job takes up an equal amount of time or a balanced amount of time. It means whatever you need it to mean so that way you can have enough time to sleep and not be stressed out. That's work-life balance, and if you can find that, you'll be successful in nightlife.
Who are your top 3 drag idols?
Ooh, okay, my top 3 drag idols. In the drag race sphere, it's always been kind of a toss-up, but my newest favorite, who's been the most consistent recently, is Monet Exchange. I used to see Monet Exchange in the city all the time way back before I did drag at a show called Bad Drag in the city. And that was always really great to see her, and then like just watching her become such a phenomenon in the drag race sphere. I think here in the city, like, you can't do drag and not recognize Shaquita Hall for like everything that she has done for the next generation of drag.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm gonna have to go with a good Judy of mine who has given me lots of opportunity, and been a mother. Even though I have an established drag mother who did so much for me, this queen taught me a lot about being a businesswoman in drag, and that's Janelle number 5. She's probably the hardest working queen in New York City.
Have you ever broken a shoe on stage?
On stage, no. I've never broken a shoe on stage. But I have done some tricks jumping off things that I should not have jumped off of that have made those heels very wobbly, and walking to the dressing room, a heel or two has broken.
What's your least favorite gig you've ever done? Don't need to name the venue.
My least favorite gig. Well, I'll say a type of gig. You know what I've learned about myself is that I'm not a host in the fact of like a party host. I don't like to just come, turn a look, and just be the girl drinking at the bar dancing for 8 hours. Like, that's not my gig. I like to entertain. If I'm gonna host, I want to be on the microphone. I want to have fun with the audience. So like being a party host, just being a name on a flyer to bring people in, like that's not my zhuzh.
Gotcha. Have you ever gone into a fight at a bar?
I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
What is your drink of choice? What do you have right here?
Vodka soda cran, always.
All right, we're gonna do a quick speed round.
Okay.
This or that.
Okay.
Shorts or pants?
Shorts.
Piercings or tattoos?
Tattoos.
Time travel to the past or time travel to the future?
Past.
Breakfast or brunch?
Brunch. Come on.
Boots or pumps?
Pumps.
All right. Do you like to read? Not the girls. I'm talking about books.
I do. I don't read as much as I used to, but I love to read.
What's your favorite book?
Actually, a book that I was just talking about on stage is a book called Prey by Michael Crichton. I love science fiction.
If you could do one thing all over again, what would it be?
Nothing, because then I wouldn't be here today.
If you could work with any celebrity, who would it be?
Nicole Scherzinger, hands down. That's not even a question.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Science.
In terms of drag, what's one thing you want to do that you haven't yet?
A huge production show. Like, think Work the World, think Vegas, think Beyonce, but like, I have things in my head that I just don't have the money
like
to
a
do.
number or like a thought out, like a
production show.
Not enough work.
I lost my voice. Start to finish.
Show?
Production.
No, that'd be so fierce. What is your favorite makeup brand?
Right now, One Size Beauty by Patrick Starr.
Taste.
More than half my face is one size right now.
Do you get compared to any other drag queens?
Honestly, for the way I look, I get compared to Candy Muse a lot. And for what I give, I've been compared to Brenda Darling before, and both of those are compliments.
Where do you see Olympia in 5 years?
Olympia is going to be on a big stage touring the world regularly with or without Drag Race in 5 years.
If there was an Olympia Pinterest board, what kind of images would be on it that would describe you?
There'd be lots of warm neutral colors. There'd be lots of luxe fabrics. There'd be lots of jewels and hair and glamour. But there'd also be fun, quirky things and lots of food. I'm a foodie, even though I don't like to eat in drag.
Are there any fun projects you have coming up that you can share?
Like I said, definitely catch me again, Miss Fire Island. We're currently on a little hiatus while we host our drag competition here at Icon called Pantheon. But in 2 weeks, I'm back on Sunday nights every single week. So I'm looking to revamp my show limited edition here every single Sunday. New looks, new numbers, a whole new Olympia.
If you could only wear one color in your wardrobe for the rest of your drag career, what would you pick?
Green.
Beautiful. Like a dark green, or
yes, just like this.
Beautiful. What is next? Who are some of your favorite local entertainers you worked with? I know we've kind of covered a little bit of it, but
my favorite local entertainers that I've worked with, probably a lot of the girls that we came up with. I love to work with Roquet. I love to work with Essence. I love to work with Frida Cox. I really love to work with my icon sisters, Petty Cash, Nicole and a Dime. Like, there's anybody who I can have really good natural banter with. And then, of course, my really good sister, who I probably worked with the most side by side with, Tina Twirler.
I've seen you perform the Pussycat Dolls, and it is life-changing, I must say. What's your favorite Pussycat Dolls anthem?
When I grow up, it's gotta be like, it's got the life-changing, memorable, as soon as you hear it, you know that song, choreography out the ass, and then that amazing dance break that became like everybody's favorite piece.
Something about your drag that's like always excited me is just like you're always pushing yourself. You're not afraid to like make Olympia better. So what advice do you have for someone who's kind of like afraid to get into somebody else's lane, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think that don't think of it as somebody else's lane. Unless you're outwardly copying someone,
right.
Don't be the girl who's stealing someone else's mix. Don't be the girl who's copying another girl. But like, just because a girl does something and she does it well doesn't mean that she owns it, right? So don't be afraid to step into someone's lane because you don't think it's theirs. And if you are worried about other people, you're not going to advance yourself. So I think I can culminate that all to say, run your own race. Don't worry about anybody else.
How do you fit under the Queer Plus umbrella?
I guess I identify as a queer man of color.
If your life was a TV show, what would it be called?
It will be called...
You said it will.
It will.
It will be called. You said it will be called.
Bitch, see?
You're manifesting without even realizing it.
You gotta believe in yourself. It will be called... Really? ... Yes.
What network?
MTV.
Keeping it classy.
Yeah, I mean, every reality show that I've ever loved has come from MTV.
Yeah.
For sure.
A few more questions. What would you say to the queer youth seeing what's going on in today's politics?
Get involved. Like, I don't think that we own the world going to shambles. I'm sure every generation has seen something happen that has shaped their world, but get involved. We have to band together. I think that what I've seen from history is that something happens, it gets okay for the society, and then something else worse happens, and then it keeps building. We just happen to be born in a year where it's later on down in our human history, so the things keep getting bigger and bigger, but that means we just have to be able to handle more and more, and I know that we can.
What makes Olympia stand out? I know I already said that you're always challenging yourself. That's what when I think of Olympia, that's personally what I think of. Always like upping the bar. But what do you think of?
What I think makes me stand out is that I really have a confidence in who I am and what I want to bring to my drag. I can be inspired by other people, but I don't let it influence me. And I also came into the drag sphere here in New York City a little bit older than some of my peers, with a little bit more life experience and a little bit more professional experience. So I find the work aspects to be business and the fun aspects to be fun, and that helps me be successful.
And my last question is, where can everybody follow you?
Oh my god, you can follow me on all the places that matter. That's Instagram, that's Venmo and Cash App, at Mount Olympia. That's MOUNT Olympia. That is a double entendre, and if you don't know what that means, slide into my DMs, baby.
She said she's a top. Thank you so much. This has been 69 Questions with
Thank
Olympia.
you.
Happy Pride!
Twah.